So a big thanks to our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by Tint Life. Tint Life is the window tint clothing brand. Awesome designs. They have really soft shirts, hoodies. It's all designed by a creator named Carrie. Carrie's been around the window film industry for a long time. She's designed my logo, window tinting business logo, and numerous other awesome logos. So if you want to go grab yourself some awesome gear, head on over to tintlife.com. Use the coupon code TINTSTUFF to save yourself 10%. Support her. Really appreciate all the work that she's done. She's helped me out a bunch. So welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about shrinking door windows. I have a 2019 Dodge Charger here. The reason you're going to want to do what is called shrinking is because your door window is curved, your window film is flat. So basically we need to get the film to curve to fit this three-dimensional curve. It's basically like a small bowl. Now snap shrinking is warming up the film, shrinking a whole wide spot on the film, so it basically lays down evenly across the glass like fabric. And since I've been doing this for a handful of years, I've noticed my windows stay better. I have less peeling windows, less issues. So I would recommend, instead of shrinking individual fingers, give snap shrinking a try. It can be a little tricky to get a feel for, but it's quick, it works well, and we're gonna learn how to do that today. So first things first, we're gonna grab the bottom corner of the film. When I lay film on glass, I like to keep it at least a ½ inch away from one side and ½ inch away from the bottom. So typically the long side, because I wanna keep as much film on the glass as I can, so I have a lot of surface area covered. And then I will take my squeegee this down, same way like I used to. Basically just lock the film down to the glass. So we're gonna pull this corner back, and this is real simple and quick. For as much rambling as I did, we're just gonna warm the film up, keep the heat gun about 6 inches away, depending on how hot your heat gun is, and you're gonna see this curve here. And then that's all there is to it. If you shrunk it enough, everything should just lay down nice and easy like that. So if I go over my window, boom. That's it. That's all I have to do. It's shrunk. Moving on to the next one. It only takes 5 or 10 seconds, and you can have a perfectly shrunk window, no problem. So we're gonna go around this car. I'm gonna show you on all the doors how to shrink these, and then I have 2 more examples later on in this video. Take my heat gun, pull up a corner, go ahead and warm this up, and then that's it. These lines right here, they'll all go away. If you pick up your film, it'll lay down just fine. If you have any little fingers still popping up at the bottom, you can always pull it back again, shrink it a little bit more, or just kind of round it off at the bottom, and you'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and start with this back passenger's door. My heat gun's all warmed up. Just pull back my corner, warm it up, and then there you go. That's it. That's all you gotta do. It's easy peasy. So I don't always squeegee it down to the window. Sometimes I'll just take my soft felt card and just kind of slap it down really quick. It depends on how much of a hurry I'm in. But you know, you can change it up a little bit as you go, as you figure this out. I see some people that just shrink it right in the middle and that's all they do. I just like to try and keep things a little bit even as I run all the way across it. And then just like that. So it basically, this is actually a really good one right here. The better you do it, the more even it is, the smoother this is all gonna look. See how that edge here locks down to the glass. I got one teeny tiny little finger there. So I usually get a little bit more curve right here than in the middle. So as I shrink that, sometimes I'll go back to this lower corner and then shrink a little bit more right there. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Charger's all shrunk, ready to install now. And that only took me, you know, a handful of seconds. Obviously a little bit more with the explanation, but. So now we're over on the driver's side of the 2018 Ford Escape, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of water on here. It's real clean, so we're gonna be shrinking these on the glass boards for this demonstration. I just wanna show you guys really quick what to expect for something like this. This is a pretty easy door window to shrink. So if I were to bring everything all together to the bottom, there's really not much at all that needs to be shrunk. So we're just gonna snap the bottom on this on the glass board just a little bit to give you an idea of what it's gonna look like from a vehicle versus the glass board. So we wanna fire a heat gun up. Now this is something you're just gonna get a feel for the more you practice. Like we did before, we're just gonna pull up the bottom a little bit and we're just gonna curl that edge. Some people are probably gonna tell me you don't have to shrink these door windows, but I like to shrink pretty much everything at least a little bit, especially if you're not removing panels. But that's pretty much all you need to do, just a little bit. And so when you lay it flat on the glass, you're gonna see this tension line right here, and the bottom should be flat just like it was on the door window. If you're ever in doubt on how much you should shrink, go ahead, throw it on the door window. But once you get a feel for it, and if you're in the habit of using glass boards like we do here, you just take the heat, hold it a little bit away from the film, and then go ahead and curl it. And I got 2 more patterns on the other glass board that I'm gonna do as well. So when you pull it back and you curl this bottom edge, now you can see this big line right here. So it's not really over shrunk, it's just shrunk a lot for a flat piece of glass. A lot more was shrunk right down here. And if you over shrink it, you will have a more difficult time installing the film. You go to try and lay this down and then all this film tries to pull together right here, and then you're gonna get those like that. That's gonna wanna shoot up. That's why this is basically like fabric, and you wanna like stretch it down the window as you install it. And if everything lays fine, you can see I'm not having any huge fingers pop up here if you keep it all even. So let's go ahead, let's shrink this bottom one. Just a little bit. That's pretty much all you need. So sometimes I do it better on certain windows than others. It's just you get a feel for how it works, and then it all comes, you gotta let your heat gun warm up, get that same motion going, and you're pretty good to go. Okay, so here I have a 2019 Dodge Challenger. All right, so on these ones, the doors, they shift up and down. So if I close this, the window slides up. So then as soon as I roll it back down, it shifts. To install these, we will latch the little door latch down here, and you'll watch the window go up, and then I'll go ahead and I'll lock it to make sure that if you pull on the handle, the window's not gonna go up or down. So the shift on this window going up and down can often pinch right in here. The rubber on these particular doors usually press right in here. What I used to do is shrink the individual fingers, tint the window, let it sit for about 3 or 4 hours, heat up the window, and then about 4 or 5 months later, the car would come back with it peeling in like one of these corners or something like that. So what I found with snapping is that this seems to be a much better way to shrink, where it locks down this edge in a way that these windows and the Camaros and the Mustangs and any similar frameless doors, I don't have the issue of them peeling anymore. So I'll pull this back and go ahead and snap this bottom. There's not a lot that needs to be done on this window. That's pretty much it. So now it's ready to be installed. And as soon as I install it, I could immediately roll this window back down and I'd be good to go. So we're gonna jump over to this glass board really quick, and I'm gonna show you one more time these frameless doors. They're a little bit longer. Same basic principle, just spread this out over a longer stretch of film. So we're really just focusing on the very bottom. We get this nice little curl, and then we see these couple of lines shooting up. That's fine. It's all gonna lay down evenly when we get it on the glass. Make sure this bottom's nice and flat. And then I could even, if I want to, if I was shrunk it on the glass board, take it, put it on the car, and make sure everything's all good to go before I even try and install it. Now, I would not recommend rolling your window down completely, of course, but just to show you, no worries there. Everything's fine, no problems. Customer can treat it like normal and be on their way. So a big thank you to Tint Life for sponsoring this video. If you want to get cool shirts like this or other tint related designs, go check out Tint Life. And then also I do have installation videos for the 2019 Dodge Challengers if you guys are interested in watching those. Those are over on certifiedtinter.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.